Hey everyone, welcome to our podcast. We are the three spiritual chicks, and we have a special guest with us this evening. My name is T, aka Rose Red.
And my name is Jazz, aka Jazz the Medium.
And my name is Joy, aka A Joyous Connection. Today's guest, we have my sister actually on. Her name is Angel here. So we're gonna do she has a couple questions when it comes to spirituality, all the great stuff, some of her experiences, and then we're gonna do a read for her.
Okay.
Do you want to say
Hello.
hey, Angel?
Hi, I'm Angel. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You welcome. Oh, girl, you our first guest. Hey, girl.
Right.
Oh,
Okay, first guest. First guest. So that means we can never forget you because you're our first guest.
all
Mhm.
right. I'm a pace setter. Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, so lead with your first question.
The first question is basically about experiences. So, around this time last year, it was probably around the 23rd of April or so, I walked outside with my boyfriend. It was probably about 9 o'clock. And it's this sound that I hear when somebody's about to die. And I heard it. I turned around and I looked up in the trees and I said to him, somebody's going to die. And we walked in the door. Then I woke up that morning and my sisters had converged upon me because it was my auntie.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
and that's not the first time something like that has happened. It's just this knowing, not knowing who, but knowing that it's going to happen. And it's, what can you do?
Well, the answer to your latter question, what you could you do is absolutely nothing.
I
But
know.
I want to explain to you what's happening. So we are all born with gifts. We're all born with instincts. You know, have you ever walked in a room and you felt unsafe or the hairs on the back of your neck was standing up and you never knew why? You just didn't feel right.
Yeah, all the
You
time.
know,
Like I'm
or
sitting in my house and it's like I feel like somebody's about to walk in on me and I'm like on high alert. And I'm like, what is this feeling? Who is about to walk in here? I feel like that almost all the time.
uh or like, have you ever like? Here's a good one. You've been in a relationship. You ain't got no proof that that man doing something he ain't got they got no business doing, but you got a feeling in your gut, and your gut is
Well, I have
always
something
right.
even better than that is the day after my auntie passed, her song just started playing on my Alexa device. And then I heard uh everything you've been wanting to know is right there. And then my boyfriend's phone dinged and he was gone. And as her song was playing, I was going through his whole phone for a whole year.
Oh, okay.
Not a whole
Okay.
year.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Things
All
that I
right.
had, dates that I
she
had
rolled
wrote
out
down. I
and
went
looked.
back to my dates and went back to his Google to show where he was at. And I can see exactly where he was at on that date on that time.
Okay.
She rolled out and showed out.
I mean, Auntie came through. Auntie said, "Come on, we got this. Let's go."
Yeah.
Or
So
it's just, go ahead.
gifts. We're all born with gifts, and I want you to understand that everyone has a gift, but some people have more gifts than others. Prime example, the best example I always use that like my vision can be 20/20, but Tiara's vision can be 20 over 75 and Joyce can be 20 over 200. You know what I mean? I just see a
Mhm.
little bit clearer than they do. So I have like my sense is a little bit extra. And that's how intuitive senses work is some people can sense things a little bit more than other people. Can they be developed? Yes. Like your vision can be corrected when you put glasses on or when you get LASIK surgery, your vision can be corrected. The same thing goes with your gifts. I think that you may be naturally gifted and you're just unaware of what your gifts are. And just because you're unaware of what your gifts are, that doesn't mean that they're there. So what I'm sensing is, and this scares a lot of people, is that you may have some mediumship abilities. I'm not sure how strong. I will have to talk to you more, but that's why you're able to sense when someone's getting ready to pass away, because you naturally have you naturally have a connection to that space over there. You know what I mean? So you may serve as a bridge. So you just have a natural knowing when somebody is going to pass away. So
I
I
can
think
feel
that's
people's
why.
emotions. Like when my baby sister, she was sick. I woke up and I was good. And then all of a sudden, I started getting these sharp pains in my stomach. And for some reason, I knew these was not my pains. So I opened the door and I screamed out to her. I was like, "What is wrong with you?" She was like, "My stomach's hurting." And I was like, "It's causing my stomach to hurt." Or one of my coworkers, she walked in and I could automatically feel her sadness. And I went up to her and I said, "Cheryl, what's wrong? I can feel sadness all over you." And she was like, "My mother-in-law just passed away." It's those kind of things that's like, mm, mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think your senses are heightened, and those are actually great senses to have, just to know like how you can help people, or to know who you can pray for, or who needs a hug, or who you can talk to, or who you can do things for. I think it's a great sense to have, with discernment, of course, because not everybody's receptive to things like these. But I felt your gifts as soon as you got on the phone. So, and I will say this too, that sometimes they tend to run in families. I've noticed like all my children are gifted. So you may not be the only gifted person in your family. It might be other people in your family that naturally have, heightened senses and heightened gifts where they can see, or there may be other people in your family that may have like mediumship abilities and things like that. But I think the reason why you're having those experiences to where like you kind of know, that's called clear cognizance, that somebody's going to pass away, or you hear things that's clear audience, things of that nature, or you are able to allow your aunt to speak to you, to guide you where to look in your boyfriend phone to see where he was through Google search on October 17th, 2023 at 6 o'clock p.m. when he told you he was at the gym and he wasn't at the
Ah,
daggone gym. I mean,
all was
baby,
revealed. Oh my God.
baby. I'll never forget, true story, real quick. I used to date this guy, and I'll never forget. I knew something was off with him, but I just could not put a finger on it. And I remember going to sleep one night, and I was just like, the truth to be revealed. So that night, I went to bed. I had a dream that I came home, and there was a naked woman in my bed, and I can describe her body, her face, everything. I just seen her. So I woke up the next morning and I told him about the dream, and he was like, "You tripping. You've been tripping lately. Ain't nothing going on." So I'm like, I have this feeling. So then the second night in a row, I had the same exact dream. I came home. There was this woman in my bed naked, and he was with her. And I was able to see her crystal clear. And she looked at me in the dream and she was like, "I'm going to call you in 3 days. And I'm going to tell you everything." So 3 days later, his mom ends up in the hospital and I'm in the bed sleep. So he calls me. He says, "I'm on my way over your house." So I said, "Okay, unlock the door." I went downstairs and unlocked the door, went back upstairs and laid down. He called me like 45 minutes later and was like, "Why didn't you unlock the door?" I said, "I did." He said, "Well, the door is locked." So I said, "Well, let me come unlock it. The kids must have locked it." So when I got up to go open my room door, my house is old, so you can lock my door from the outside. My kids locked me in my room and I'm panicking like, "Let me out my room. Let me out my room." So my kids, and they're adults, by the way, they come in the room and they was like, "Mom, you need to break up with
Oh,
him now." I'm like, wow. My daughter was like, "Look at this." A girl contacted my daughter because she saw my picture with her and said, "Your mama messed with so-and-so. She need to quit messing with him." So I look in there. This was 3 days later. The girl sent me This girl, she sent me so much evidence. She sent me so much evidence. There was no way that he could dispute it. She even gave me clarity without me asking on the day that he was missing, and he swore up and down that he was with his dad. She knew, she told me about that whole entire day, how he got away from me, how he made it back home, where she dropped him off at, and how he walked on, what he had on day, what color underwear he had on, what color shoes had on. She had so much evidence in my phone. It was ridiculous. And this is a true story.
Wow.
And it started with a dream. I just knew something was wrong. I had a dream. And when I went on the girl page and looked at her, she looked identical to the woman in my dream.
Mm.
Identical. I even saw a mole, or a small mole on her cheek, and she had a small mole down here on her cheek.
Oh
Mm.
wow. Mm.
Mhm.
Yep.
You were protected. Well,
when
both of y'all were.
uh-huh. When them senses be
You
heightened,
talking
they be
about
heightened.
this.
It's just a lot of stuff. Like, it's just, if I go back over the years and I think about my very first experience that I can like think of, we were on our way to Salisbury, Maryland for a church revival. And when you drive through little country towns, even though it's a route or a highway, you have to slow down to like 25. And so I look over there and I see our dog Lady running. Now, the thing about Lady and how she was in this, you could tell her from any dog. She only had 3 legs. She was a Chihuahua. And by
Lord.
this time, she was already dead. So I'm looking and I'm seeing that, and I know this is Lady. I know it is. How's there going to be another Chihuahua that looks just like Lady with only 3 legs and running in my plain view? And I think I was like 8, and I was just like,
Mm.
I can't tell anybody this. Nobody's going to believe this. So I kept it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to St. Elizabeth. That in DC, that was the crazy house. So if you did stuff weird, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you on your way to St. E's." And then the next experience, I was a runaway. So I was with the people I was with. We were sitting in a dark room. Then this scared me now, because this was the first experience that things just happened by itself. So I'm sitting there, they're scratching at the door. The radio comes on. The radio goes off. The TV comes on. The TV goes off. The radio and the TV comes on together, and the radio and TV goes off, scratching back at the door. I'm about to lose my mind because I'm like 13 now, and this is happening in this house. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, explain this. I don't know what this is. What is this? And he was like, sometimes things like this happen. And I'm like, okay. And even that is just so much stuff with this person, to the point where he could leave his body, go answer the phone because he knew I was calling, go back to his body, get back on his bike, and come back from the store. I remember that experience because I could hear his mother, once he answered the phone, saying, "You got back from the store really quick." And then when he actually came in, she was like, "You came in and left." I could hear it. And he just laughed and picked up the phone. "You still there?"
Oh, okay.
Mm. So those kind of things happened when I was younger. And for a long time, and I guess it affects me now. That's the reason why I don't like to sleep at night.
He
I
definitely
work
worked
at
third
night.
shift.
I'm always up at night. I have always worked third shift because I need to be on full alert at those hours. And I guess it comes from being traumatized as a child and thinking like, no, 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 no. If this kind of stuff happens at night, I don't need to be asleep. I need to be highly alert. And I've always
Mhm.
been like that. I work at night. I do not want to sleep at night.
Honestly, I think that things like that happen all throughout the day, but at night, because our biological sleep cycles, our biological cycles, I think what happens is that our consciousness tends to be less active at night, and our subconscious tends to be more active. And that gives us a way to have more experiences. And that's why I can definitely understand why you would pick to be a third shifter. When I was young, I didn't understand a lot, so I had a lot of experiences that you can call terrifying. But it's also kind of what made me not afraid of much when I got older, except for clowns on trains at night. Don't judge me. I don't know why they just creep me out. In dirty snow. Just can't do it. Everything else, like, I can understand completely. But I think once you come into a full understanding of not only who you are, but the gifts that you possess, you can learn to embrace those things about yourself. You won't have to be as afraid. So I think
Yeah,
that's
there. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, if you wasn't done, I'm sorry.
I'm done.
I'm about to change the subject. Go ahead.
Do it now. Change it, honey. Change it.
Oh, no. Y'all know I'm still dealing with this stuff over here. Um, in that scenario, I will say that that was kind of the first when she said that she ran away. Um, I think my mom, she from what the stories say is my mom was searching for her, trying to look for her, could not find her. She was gone at the time. My mom was praying and asking like, "Where's my daughter?" And I came out and said, "Oh, she's at Tori's house." Out the blue from somewhere. So they were able to find her at Tori's house or that person's house. But she had another question on. I think I was about 3 or 4. I don't know. Who knows? But she had a question she asked me before about if souls can walk through the living, like us in our present tense. I told her yes. You know,
Well, I already know yes is the answer because I know something walked through me. I absolutely know it.
Yeah. And different, souls, entities, spirits, whatever you call it, they can mount you and they can use you as a host.
I know that too.
Um, but you have to give them, of course, you have to some way, shape, or form, give them permission to do it. And sometimes we tend to get permission without knowing it. But yeah, they can't walk through you. They can't step through you. They can't use you as a host. That's how physical mediums operate. That's how, if you are well versed in African traditions like voodoo or Ifa, that's how like that mounting happens. The spirit inhabits the body. You're still there, and you still have control. But these spirits, they can't walk through you. They can't inhabit your body and use you as a source to communicate as well. But I always want you to remember that you can always prevent that and you can always protect yourself. So it's not like they can hop in your body and you don't have a choice. You can prevent that. You can protect yourself.
And I definitely know that because I tell them no all the time. Okay.
Hmm.
When Jazz say I'm the scary one, that's one of the experiences that I had. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. So yeah,
uh,
definitely.
I think
that
that
me and you had. You was like, no, 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 ma'am,
yeah,
ma'am,
actually,
go
T,
ahead,
you
please.
probably, and it could be T, you could be naturally a channeler. So that's just naturally how they want to communicate through you. But it's your domain. You control it. You can say, "Hey, no, you ain't about to step up in here," but you could tell me what you want me to say. You know what I'm
You
saying?
already know what my response be when that happens. So,
It be nothing. You ain't got to tell me nothing. You ain't coming up in here. You
oh
ain't talking to
no,
me.
I'd
You
be
ain't looking at
like, oh hell no, we not doing that. Mm-mm. And I can
me.
feel it coming. I feel it when it's coming. So, mm-mm,
So,
shut it down.
Angel, for you, what I can say to you is that I feel like you're naturally strong-minded. You're naturally powerful. There's also no disrespect, but there's also a stubbornness to you, which is good.
I'm a
So
Taurus.
that explains it.
Right.
So you have more control over yourself, and you can control that, and you can be firm with them. So if you feel like something stepped through you or walked through you or tried to get to you, you can check them. You can tell them, like, no, or even if you hear noise or you feel like they're making a ruckus, you can say no, or
Oh,
you can
I had to
even
pull out
control how you
patchouli
present
oil.
yourself to you.
I had to pull out patchouli oil because have you ever seen those Chinese balls that you twirl? Well, I had those sitting in my living room. And I normally could hear something walking around in my living room. And then I started hearing the balls turning. And you know they're turning because they chime when they hit together. It's not just the vibration. It's I could hear it. So that means that something was in there twirling my ex-husband's balls. And
Mm.
this it disturbs me so bad because, and this may be personal, but I felt like he attacked me in my sleep. I
Why do you
feel
say
like,
that?
because I felt like I would feel after we were together, meaning sexually. And I felt
um,
that same way. So I feel like some kind of way,
You okay?
yeah, I'm fine. Some kind of way I was attacked unbeknownst to me.
so this can mean one or two things.
And it seems like it's unreal.
It can mean that he may have caused some type of trauma, and you have some healing to sort through. So you're still feeling the residual effects of the pain that he caused. And from how you're feeling, it's making me feel like it was some damage or some pain caused. So that could definitely mean that those are residual effects of that you're still healing from and you're still processing. You know what I mean? And like I said, at nighttime, our defenses are down. Your conscious is down. Your ego's a little bit down. Your subconscious is more awake. And don't forget, the subconscious is like a sponge. It can't filter like, yeah, I'm going to absorb that. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take that. The subconscious absorbs everything and it does not forget. So everything from the time you were born to now, everything you heard, listened to, been told about yourself, been done to you, happened to you is absorbed into your subconscious. And when we are asleep or we are at nighttime, when we go into that other state of consciousness, a lot of those things can come to the surface. It can definitely be that. And those are the times we have like some of the most, painful memories. Um, that's why you might see a lot of people when they meditate and they go into that altered state, they might cry a lot. You know what I mean? Or people might have a lot of nightmares or they might have trouble sleeping. That could be the reason why. Um, and then on the other hand, it could be his spirit attacking you or something like that. But I don't think what that is. I think it's more of a healing that needs to be done on your part. Because number one, since you're highly intuitive, you're extremely sensitive. So spiritually, you'll be sensitive too. So since you're sensitive, you're going to feel things a little bit more than others. And when you've been hurt on that magnitude, um, it's difficult. So this just tells me that whatever this individual did or whatever type of pain that they caused, and I got a feeling I kind of know because I've been there before, is that sometimes those things come to the surface, and when you feel them, you do feel attacked. You do feel attacked. Prime example. I was taken advantage of when I was younger, and sometimes I would go to sleep and I would feel like I would be taken advantage in my sleep. And I mean, I would wake up panicking, can't breathe, sweating, crying. It actually feels like you're living through that again, like you're living through that experience, and it just doesn't feel good. But as time passes and you heal, you start to feel a little better, like you start not to have those type of experiences. I think that's kind of your subconscious way of saying, hey, we still have some healing to do. Maybe there are some things that you've suppressed over the years because you're very strong. You're Taurus, of course. You know,
I
you put up
suppress
that
everything.
strength.
Everything is suppressed. Everything is a small thing to a giant. So I
Yeah.
fold it up into a little small package and throw it somewhere down inside of me. And sometimes they come back
Yep.
up. I just got to push
Yep.
them back down. And I
Yep.
don't know if that's a good way to deal with things, but that's how I deal with them.
Yeah. Eventually, telling from experience, you're gonna have to deal with them.
Mhm.
And I
But
feel
full
like
disclosure with this guy,
uh
he went to a business meeting in 2017 and never came back. And I had been with him since I was 25 and I was 47. And he left.
and
He didn't call me for a whole year, and he decided to call me on my son's birthday, which was November 29th, to apologize. And since then, if I think about him, like I thought about him the other day, when my mind thinks about him, he texts. It never fails. If my mind thinks about him, or if I say I miss him, he'll be texting or he'll be calling.
yeah. Mm. I'm gonna suggest something to you, but I'm not gonna suggest it on here.
Okay.
Um, I'll write a comment. Can I write a comment?
You should be able to add one in the chat without it being public.
Yeah, I might have to because it won't let me add nothing over here. So I'll add it in the chat and have her send it to you.
Okay.
Um, to
Okay.
see if we can stop that from happening.
Mhm.
Maybe some things that you can do. All right. So we in about a half an hour or close to, and we want to make sure we get your reading done and we connect with you.
Okay.
So I'm going to let them go first because they are my mentees. And I have yet to see
Come
y'all
on
read.
through, mentees. Come on through, mentees.
I'm gonna say big. I'm gonna say big.
But one thing I'm gonna
Um,
do
is
say,
there any
as
particular
we're
area
talking,
you want to touch up on, Miss Angel, or you just want them to read what they feel?
Well, I'm most concerned about the love of my life, which is my baby boy. And I'm so concerned that he hasn't found anybody to love him unconditionally. And I want to know if he's going to find somebody and if I'm going to be a grandma. Don't be laughing, Joy.
How old is your baby boy?
36.
Okay.
hold on,
I'm
I
going
gotta
to
change my
mute
cards
myself
around.
and allow them to go.
Joy, you looking at me, so I'm assuming you want me to go first.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. It is Marco.
So we asking about love for your son.
Ooh, okay.
All right, let's see what we got.
I do get a pregnancy card at some point, right? Um, with him. But I think right now I also got Gold Digger and Give It Time. I think he is trying to kind of figure out who he is personally, and making sure whoever he chooses to be with is not going to be um someone who, I don't want to say who is a gold digger, but whoever he chooses to be is going to be um or to be in a relationship or have a child with is going to be his person. I see it coming. Just give it some time. Um, yeah, give it some time. It's gonna work out. Um, he just want to make sure that he find the right person. Um, I got a water sign, right? So whoever he ends up with, Lord, may end up being a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces. Um, but give it some time. That grandbaby gonna come. He just he's still trying to figure it out and make sure he don't go through some stuff. Here, what you got?
Okay.
So with my cards, what I'm getting, the end result is it's coming. However, what I see is he's going to go through some heartbreak and some hard lessons. Um, so he needs to have the understanding of that love is give and return, and like balance and fairness. Then I see there may be some heartbreak and pain with a situation that's going to cause him to step back and go within himself, so he can really know what he wants, learn what he wants, what he doesn't want, and become a better person for himself, so he can be a better man to be the man that he wants to be in a relationship. um, that's going to be the outcome of that, and it's coming. I also see something may be entering around the summertime.
T, you know what I
So,
just heard? Is I better go get my boxing gloves because somebody about to break my baby's heart. I'm just
okay.
joking.
We
I'm
can't
just
be doing
joking.
that. We can't be
No, we're
doing
not. We're
that.
not going to do that. But it's, granted, yes, we don't like to see our loved ones go through pain, and however, unfortunately, I see this as being something that he's going to have to learn. Like, granted, mom, you can be there for him, but in order for him to learn, I'm gonna say the lessons in love that he needs to be the man that he wants to be with the woman that's meant to be with him. He's going to have to learn those lessons and go through the process on his own. So don't hurt nobody. We can't have you going to jail, okay?
Okay.
Oh, and his person gonna be his twin flame. Sorry, I'm just him. I'm pulling. Yeah, I got. I put it again. Once he get there, he's gonna have to take time for healing and things like that. But yeah, he'll be good. Don't worry about nephew.
He gonna be all right. He
All
gonna
I'm
be
saying is he's gonna be a
okay.
good provider. So you look here,
And
look
that's
here.
why he gonna go through the lessons. And then as Joy got me keep pulling, and the one thing I have, he's gonna have to, love himself before he's gonna get to that relationship that's gonna fulfill him and pour back into him.
Okay.
Jazz, do you have anything? No.
I'm about to say, come on, Jazz, bring it home. What you got over there? What you got?
So the first thing I want to say is that something about his personality or himself that he masks. So I feel like there's something about himself that he don't want to let people he don't want to open up to really let people in. So it's like he say he wanted, but he's not truly open to allowing people to really get to know him. Like maybe there's parts of himself that he don't think that people will understand. And I could be off, or maybe parts of himself he don't think that somebody will accept. And that's why he hasn't quite opened up for that connection. It's like I feel like there's parts of his personality that he just kind of he doesn't show. It's just something feels sheltered about his energy. It's not quite sure what it is, but something feels very sheltered about his energy and by his personality. Yeah, he will meet somebody.
That sounds about right.
He will meet somebody, but here is the thing. Like sometimes we ask God for things, and then when God gives it to us, we go, "Oh, hold on." You know what I mean?
Sound like
So
me.
Oh, that's how he's gonna be.
it causes friction. It causes confusion in a universe, especially if you're not used to really having it. Um, so he might feel like he's at a loss, but at the end, the final outcome I got was new love or the possibility at new love. the best advice I could give is encourage him to feel what he's feeling, encourage him to be authentically himself, but also while encouraging him as mama bear, I would say um allow him to experience it. Um, like even like sometimes, prime example, when my sons when they bring girlfriends around, I might see things I don't like, or I might, in my mind be overly critical, but I don't say nothing. I just go, you know what? I'm gonna let him find out on his own. You know what I mean? Because if I tell my son now, like I don't like her, or it's something about her, I don't know, he might listen to me and pearl out and not even give it a chance, or he might have what I said in the back of his mind. And the reason why I say
Right.
that is because I feel like your son values what you say very much. There's a closeness between y'all, you and your son, and whether y'all had issues over in the past or not, y'all. So we got several soulmates. Even our kids, they're soulmates, but you and your son have a closeness. Y'all can feel each other. Y'all have had several past lives together. Y'all kind of locked in. So because of that, y'all probably tend to be a little bit more protective of each other. Or, honestly, he may even come off as a mama's boy. I don't know. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying he might come off like that. But what I'm saying is that sometimes, even if you feel like he ain't listening to you or hearing you, he's listening and hearing you. So if he feel like you're not receptive to something or you don't like something, he always gonna have that in the back of his mind. So if I was you, I would support him, even if you feel like this ain't it, or he might be going down the wrong direction. Just be like, because sometimes you gotta let a person fall on their butt. Like just go ahead and follow your butt real quick. I'll be here to help you up real quick. You know what I mean? Go ahead and make this
Yeah.
mistake in love. That's how we find love. We make mistakes. So that's what I got. But I do see a future in love coming. It may be one kid coming, but I don't know if the kid is biological. So what
Mhm.
it may be is he might meet somebody who has a child and y'all might fall in love with the child. I know, mom, I'm sorry. And y'all might fall in love with the child, but there's a chance that it may not be biological because I don't feel like, I'm not saying it's not, but I don't feel 100% convinced that, okay, this is a biological child. Now I can pull
Mhm.
my tarot out and do a yes or no real quick just to see what that comes out as. But it don't necessarily, that don't mean that it won't be. It could be some question around that. Like he might have questions about it, and that's why it's coming out like that. But I think there's something to his personality that he doesn't show. He suppresses. Sound familiar? It could be that he
Yeah.
suppresses. But I'll do a quick yes or no.
And he definitely doesn't bring, let me tell you, he don't bring nobody
Huh?
around the family, period. I know, yeah, he doesn't bring anybody around because not only his mom, but he'd be like, I ain't bringing nobody around y'all, all my aunts. Mm-mm, no, y'all be doing too much because they gonna grill him. So, yeah.
So it may be a level of discomfort. I don't know.
Hmm.
Shall be biological. His shall be biological.
What? What I do?
Cards say no. Not a dealing probability. Things can change. The cards say no. That doesn't
Things
mean that
can
he
change.
won't have children later, but that relationship that he has right there may not foster a child.
All right. Well, there's that.
But he'll find love. And maybe he'll find a love that he's open enough to share.
Oh, I can't know what I.
Then that
It's
changes
happening.
everything for me.
Why
Changes
does it change it?
everything.
Why does it
Because
change it?
I'm working to leave things for my descendants. If I'm not gonna have any, then I might as well go ahead and splurge on myself now.
I didn't say you was or you wasn't. It's just right now it's not showing it. Reading's playing probability. And just because I don't see it right now, that doesn't mean it won't happen later. It just means not right now. We're looking for his next love. You know, I think you're thinking too hard about it. I think you have too much invested in that. And he is your descendant.
But if he don't have any, then our bloodlines die. Wow.
Your bloodline doesn't die because you got siblings with children. You have a whole family.
I mean, my direct bloodline dies.
Your direct bloodline dies.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Is that a fear?
Anything changes.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, okay.
But things can change.
Hmm.
Just because it's not showing up right now, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the case.
Yeah. Did you have any other questions, Angel?
Nah.
Lord.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Look, your niece back here talking about she's not okay. She's not okay. It's the
Yeah, you don't feel
okay.
okay, and I'm sorry. I know these. I know, and you know, I wouldn't do you a service. I wouldn't do you. I wouldn't do you this. I would be doing you a disservice if I lied to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no
I do feel
doubt.
like I love, and there is a child here. I just don't know if it's biologically his or not. You know, but if he does fall in love with somebody that has a child, I would hope that you know that child would be just as loved, even
I
if
mean,
you
of
can't.
course,
Of
but
course, even if you
it's
can't even.
something about looking at a kid and seeing your traits in them.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing I was looking forward to. So
Yeah.
it may not be a reality. That's real.
But then it may be a reality.
Mm-hmm. Because you can jump a timeline like I did this past weekend
I need you to
and just go
understand
in a different
how.
direction.
I need you to understand how powerful you are and how important it is to be mindful of the words that you speak over your life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
It
already know.
it
You know how
may.
things come back.
Mhm.
I can remember something asking me, "How long do you need your mother?" And I said, "Until I'm 50." Because when you're a little kid, 50 is old.
Mhm.
But when I was 49 and my mother died, um, months before I turned 50, that thought came back to me. And I was just like, why I didn't say until I was 75? So you do speak things, and maybe it's just a coincidence that I thought that, and then it just so happened to kind of come true.
There's no such thing as coincidences. I don't feel. Have does your son want children?
Yeah, he wants to.
He wants to. Has he ever shared with you why he doesn't feel like he found a person that he wants to settle down and have children with?
Well, Marco is, for the longest time, he grew up an only child, and his friends were his aunties, one of which is sitting right there. So he didn't have a lot of external friends because we were military. So we moved around. We hopped around and moved around. And then when we finally settled in, and I left his father, we broke up or whatever. Um, he just became his own little island within himself. I was the kind of mom, all he had to say what he wanted, and I would make sure I made it happen because I feel like I had him so early and I never wanted him to be ashamed of me. I never wanted him not to feel like he was less than because he was born to a teenage mother. So I worked so hard to make sure that he had just about everything he wanted. So I guess that kind of compensated for external friends when you got all the games of Xbox or Sega or whatever game system is out, whichever new one came out, he had it. Whichever new design came out, he never wore it because he wasn't into clothes and style and stuff like that. He wasn't. His whole closet was full of designer stuff. And he would grab a black t-shirt and a pair of jeans. I don't know how I got there. That was kind of off. Random.
You're fine.
But he's always been just to himself. He's always not how should I say it? It's pretty much it's been me and him, me and little Marco.
He's an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Did he date a lot over the years or have a lot of girlfriends over the years, or he just kind of never really got into that stuff?
Nah, he never brought girls home in high school. And then now it's not to say he ain't like 'em, because I would catch him downstairs. I'm like, "What you down there watching?" He be like, "This girl down here fine, mama." I'm like, "Okay, all right." And he watching his things, but as far as bringing girls home, nah. As far as like Joy said, I think one time he brought one girl to one of our family functions. And, I looked at her and I was just like, what's going on here? This lipstick don't match your skin tone. What is happening? What is this going on before my very eyes? But oh no, he brought another one to Keisha's birthday party. And
Mm-hmm.
she was nice. And she was pretty. But she got old eggs. And I guess I was being nasty with that one. I'm sorry. But I want grandbabies. I cannot not be my true self. I want my grandbabies. Ah,
And Marco has experienced, I don't want to say trauma, but he's um because of what he's seen a lot of people go through in our family, um he chose not to be in relationships. Now he's dated girls, but he don't bring nobody around, period. So
no.
um,
You got to sneak in his phone if he slips up and set it down to see those text messages, baby. No, you ain't getting nothing. He's not telling you nope. And I kind of told him if you just playing around with these girls, you don't need to bring them around the family, have us getting to love them, and then next thing y'all know, y'all be them broke up. Now I can't even talk to the girl no more because you don't talk to the girl no more. So don't do that to me, and don't do that to her.
But I'm
If you're
wondering
gonna
if
do
he feels that if he brings somebody around, y'all might be a little too critical. So it's a
mm,
discomfort there.
oh
yeah.
well, I think we're gonna be ourselves.
But
Maybe that's the problem. We're
is
gonna be
being
ourselves.
yourself being a bit too. And I'm not calling you out because I don't know, I'm not there. But is being yourself when he brings girls around, is it a bit critical and judgmental? If she doesn't have a
Oh,
certain look, or if she doesn't carry herself away, or if she's not up to
hmm.
your standards. If her
Now if
lipstick
she's trash
if her
juice,
lipstick if her lipstick don't match
then
her shade. But he might be in
well,
love with trash juice. I'm just saying.
I don't know. Trash juice stinks, baby. We can't have that around.
Look, he might
No,
he, might
I am just joking because I wanted to be a comedian in another life. So
he might
that's just that.
love him some trash juice, baby.
Oh,
And that trash
no.
juice might treat him like he the king of the world.
Oh my God.
That trash juice might love his dirty draws.
Oh my
Treat him
Jesus.
to,
Oh
that
no.
trash juice might give him 17 kids. I'm just saying that
Okay,
trash
let's
juice
stick with
might.
trash juice. You say 17 heads of children. We're gonna stick with trash juice.
All I'm saying is, Mama, I just be a little bit open, and I need you to call it. But he
I
has to
just
really
know I
like
can't
it.
leave this world without knowing that somebody's going to love my son like I love him. Well, that can't happen. That can't happen. But that somebody will love him and treat him the way he's supposed to be treated. That's all I really want. And I do want a grandbaby or two, but I want somebody who's going to love him and accept him for who he is and treat him, with respect and for the man that's going to be the provider, because that's what he's going to be. That's what I raised. I raised a person who, like, if you have a wife, if
Mhm.
she needs to have the options, you understand options. If she doesn't want to go back to work, you're the head of this house. You need to make that happen. That's your responsibility. You need to figure that out. That's not hers. Hers, if she wants it to be, is taking care of your kids in your house. If she wants it to be, if she's traditional and conservative.
I feel like he will find that. Now, will he stick with it or be receptive to it? That's a different tale.
Let's see if it's long enough. 10 months is all we need, baby. No, I'm just kidding.
You said
Oh goodness, it's been really great talking with y'all. I'm just being myself.
Oh no, we love it here.
it's
We
been a
love it.
pleasure having you.
We love it. It's definitely been a pleasure. But we can feel, and I wonder why you wonder why we're quiet, but it's because we can feel like you can feel, and we can feel how much you want this. We can feel it in your heart. We can feel I can feel it all the way down to your soul how much you want your son to find that happiness and bring you home some grandchildren, before you leave this earth. You know, I can completely see and understand that. So for us not to, all the way say it like, girl, look, I see a baby in 6 months. I can see how that can feel, a little disappointing because that's truly what you desire. Um, but your son, he has to, if that's what he truly wants, he got to go after it. And and sometimes a part of me feel like he's looking, but he's not. I feel like your
Well,
son
he's
is
in school right now, so he's trying to focus on getting his degree. So he got tunnel vision on that,
I
and
feel
that's
Marco
gonna.
like the hoes, okay? Let's
I'm going to be truly transparent with you, Mom. I feel like he can be avoidant. He's always going to be laser focused on something. If it's a fear there. So if it's not school, it's going to be your career next. If it's not his career next, it's going to be maybe buying a house or building a house. If it's not that next, it's going to be something else. Or if something goes on, then he needs to focus on taking care of this because it's something about that area of his life right there that he doesn't want to directly face. Now, what is it? I don't know. You know what I mean? That's just something that he has to figure out on his own. And I do feel like he's figuring himself out now. And he's starting to get an idea on what he truly wants. But I also feel like your son, he's wise. He has a wisdom to him too. Like he really thinks about what he wants in a partner. So I think when he really does decide to choose a partner, it won't be dumpster juice.
Okay.
Feel like it'll be somebody that he feels like he can really bring around his family and settle with. The issue is when, because biological clocks be ticking if we want some babies. But men
Well,
should.
his daddy just had. His daddy is older than me, and 2 years ago he had a little baby, and last year he had a little baby. So he got 4 kids and two under two. Huh?
Now I was just about to say my kid's dad, he 52 and he got a 2-year-old. So yeah, I mean they can still make them. So I guess it just depends on her biological clock whenever he decides to allow her to come in.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Or he may decide that he just wants to meet a wife, take a wife, and travel the world with his wife.
Shit. What y'all laughing at?
He said, "Shit, no, it's not what I want."
Right.
Oh, this
Immediately
is not
no.
part of the program. What is he doing? This is
It's
not
something
it.
happening. Something powerful
He's
about your
figuring it
boy.
out.
Speak it.
Hmm.
Speak it.
He's figuring it out.
You know.
All right.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask us about, Miss Angel?
What about my relationships?
Okay.
He had an S on the end, so
Tiara, like,
wait a minute.
Well, I'm only
No
really in
judgment,
one relationship.
only understanding. But it's one that you, is there
The one
one
that
you
I'm
want
currently in.
more,
The one you're currently in.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Not the
ladies.
ex-husbands, even though he's made things clear that he wants to try to get back. Absolutely not. You left me, buddy. Beat it. But I'll still talk to you because I'm not angry. But
Okay.
you can go, Tiara.
Tears tapping in, I'm sorry.
hmm.
Whatever.
Hmm. So one thing that I'm going to say, there's some things right now in the relationship that you're currently in. You're going to find out some things that you may not, I'm going to say, be happy with. However, it'll be up to you to adapt and change, to heal. Whatever you're going to find out is going to bring about healing for you. And I also see that things will progress. Y'all have more like date time, more time together. Um, and the communication is going to open up. But I definitely see that there's something it's about to be a shift in the current relationship that you're going to find out, and the change you're going to make. I believe is going to bring about healing for you.
Yeah, I got the healing hearts um card there. Um I did get a little bit more, so we're gonna see if I can go with it. I did get the golden mirror card, um, which is a narcissist, self-adored, one-sided. Um, I'm not sure if that's how you feel within the relationship currently. Um, but I don't know why I'm getting that energy there from that. Um, I do also see that there is going to be a next phase there. I'm not sure if you and your relationship is going to go to a next phase. Um, Meaning if it's going to be growth within that relationship, if that makes sense, or if it's going to be, I don't want to say a breakup or anything. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little. It's gonna have to be some inner healing with both of you guys, in order for the relationship to continue to flourish. Um, there, I'm not sure what he's dealing with or what you need to deal with personally to help heal you from to grow within your relationship. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. My turn. You remember when I told you, Angel, that you're powerful? I really want you to embrace how powerful you are. And sometimes you can call a lot of your fears into your reality, just what you're thinking. So it's just very important to watch what you're thinking. There's something about this connection, and I just want to tell you that overall, this isn't a bad connection at all. I kind of like it. Y'all have y'all ups and downs and y'all ebbs or flow. Neither one of y'all are nowhere near shape perfect, which none of us are. But this connection looks like a natural connection, which is two people come together. They're two different people and they go through things. They have their ups and their downs. And the best thing about relationships is that they figure out how to get through it. You see what I mean? Like they figure it out. Some of the longest standing relationships and marriages, they figure it out. But within you, there's this fear. And it sometimes it's like a fear that something may go wrong or the hat might drop. And I think that sometimes we manifest it because it's just there and we're thinking it sometimes. And when you think it sometimes or you go looking for it, you find it. So I think like because you've been through some things, um, whether we like it or not, sometimes we tend to take our past relationships with us. And because you've been through some things, I think sometimes that tends to carry with you. That tends to go with you. Will y'all have some ups and downs? Yes. Can y'all get through them? Yes. Y'all can. If y'all work through any problems that y'all have, will it go to the next level? I don't know if you can see my back screen is just it's the wedding card. Can y'all move to the next level? Yes. Are there some things that y'all both need to work on? Yes. I do feel like there is. Um
Yeah, I got that too.
when I feel like I pulled that one too.
Yeah.
It flipped out and I put it back in, but that one came out too.
Mm.
Um do I feel like that? I feel like there's something about your personality that makes him hesitant to communicate openly. And it could be something like he's afraid of how you'll respond or he's afraid of how you'll react. So because of that, there might be some breaks in communication and they may come off as deceptive, but it's not necessarily deception. It's just that I feel like I couldn't come to you and tell you that type of energy. And don't get me wrong, the roles can be reversed. It could be that you feel like you can't talk to him about certain things because his responses may not always feel safe. Like somebody is not creating a safe space for somebody to communicate, which can cause, like little issues. But at the end of the day, I got the engagement card and a wedding card. Can y'all get past these? Yes. Is he a soulmate? Yes, my soulmate card came out in two different decks. Do y'all have y'all had past lives together? Yes. Is this a healing journey for you? Yes. Are healing journeys easy? No. Is there a lesson in this relationship? Yes. Relationships, they teach us most about ourselves. I promise you. Are there things that you're going to find out or things are going to happen that's going to be disappointing? Probably. Can you work through them? Yeah. Taurus, don't kick them in the ass. Um, but y'all can talk through it and work through it. What's his sign?
He is a Sagittarius. And what's crazy is his birthday is the 15th of December. My ex-husband is the 5th of December. The guy before that was the 30th of November.
So
It's something
Sagittarius.
about a Sagittarius.
Mhm.
But my son's father, Pisces.
Well, you dealing with some fiery energy there, ma'am. And Saggies at times they can be non-committal. They can be unsure about their energy and unsure what they want to do. But once they sure, they be sure. Just speaking from a fellow Saggy here, November 27th.
Oh, okay.
But I think that I don't think you have a bad relationship. There's something very sarcastic about his personality. It's something kind of asshole-ish about his personality. I'm not even
Oh,
gonna
he's
hold.
asshole. He's
There's
whole
something
asshole.
there's something sarcastic and asshole. I
He
just feel
is
like
a satchel of assholes.
okay. I'm about to say,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to be disrespectful or
Oh
anything
no,
like
no,
that.
no. You called it
I
on the
should
head,
have
love.
on
You
that.
called it on the head.
But it's something sarcastic about his personality, and it's something about he's somewhat of a know-it-all. Like he ain't never wrong. You know what I mean? Like he always right. Even if you're looking at the sky and the sky is blue, and it could be 2 million people saying the sky is blue, and he looking at it like, nah, it's yellow. But I don't know. We're all 2 million of y'all seeing, but it's yellow. But I think another thing that I feel like he may do is if he's wrong, he might be pretty good at turning the tables.
Yeah, he
Turning
is.
people, like
He
let's
good
say
at flipping
he
stuff,
messed
and
up.
then
Uh-huh. Then like I think I got on my teenage daughter yesterday for something. She became very upset. She was definitely wrong. And today we had a conversation and she tried to flip that shit. She decided to talk to me about my parenthood when we was talking about her. They try to flip the table on you. But I feel like
yeah,
as a parent, you having this and that. And this. I'm looking like, hey, we talking about how you messed up and why you want punishment. But how people tend to try to flip that table on you and
hmm
make you be looking at yourself like, dang, am I a bad parent? Wait, no, that's not what we were talking about. We were talking about this. Let's get back to the subject.
right.
You know what I mean? Like maybe like I wouldn't call him a narcissist, but I think he might have some of those characteristics. And we all do.
Yes, he
We all do.
absolutely does.
We
He
all do.
absolutely does. I do everything for you. I make sure this is done for you. But nigga, I ain't asked you to. I asked you to fall back. I can fix my own food. I can pick out my own dresses, nigga. Are you sick? Oh, I'm so sorry. This is
You
being recorded. Bleep that out.
You're fine.
I ain't
I didn't
bleeping
got
You're
nothing
too
out.
fine.
comfortable.
I ain't bleeping nothing out.
Right. You're fine.
I just that those are the things. I do this, I do that. No, I never asked you for that. Just because you went, I clean your bathroom up. Look, I clean my bathroom up twice a week. Now, if you walking in between times, um, and you feeling froggy, go ahead and jump to the comment. But it's done twice a week, and if it needs to be a spot cleaning, it's spot cleaning now. If you feeling, your feminine side, and you want to spring clean the whole house, guess what? At that time, I was working 2 jobs. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. I ain't even mad.
Ooh, a Sagittarius and a Taurus. Ooh,
It has always been that.
I love it. It's something else in your chart. Have you ever had your chart looked at?
No, no.
I think one day we should look at it.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any other questions for us, Miss Angel? Where Joy
No.
go?
I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I was going through the changes over here with this coughing. I had to turn it. I said they're
I'm
gonna be
not.
like, she done coughed the whole episode.
I know you fine. I just got over a cold. Well, Miss Angel, I definitely thank you for coming on with us. This was great. It was really nice meeting
Mhm.
you. I can
Nice
see
meeting you too.
I can see how y'all sisters, y'all gifted. Y'all probably
I
all
did
gifted.
want to ask one thing. And I'm what about the Orishas? Because I was reading up on one Ogun, and for some reason I feel drawn to Ogun.
Okay. So the Orisha, that would be a part of like Ifa Yoruba.
Yeah,
And Ogun is one of the Orishas.
yeah.
If that is what you are drawn to, I can definitely recommend some books. I probably have a few on my bookshelf. Um,
What was crazy is when my mother passed away, we went into a spiritual shop, and I seen the cards there, and I ain't do nothing but just touch it, and I got violently sick. Remember, Joyous? We was in that shop, and I got sick immediately after
Mhm.
touching the deck.
mm, mm, mm. Don't be touching stuff now.
I,
Right.
I I know that now. I know that now.
I got
That might
you.
have been that altar. Shoot, I didn't realize they had an altar at the spot.
Yeah,
Oh.
it could have been. Yeah, you don't want to touch anybody's altar. But what I
Okay.
can do is my friend, she's well versed in it. She's going to be coming on one day and talking more about it. So I'm happy you brought it up because she's going to come. I got friends in all different traditions, whether it's a religion like Christianity or Catholicism. I got a friend that practices Buddhism. I got a friend that she was just recently initiated. She got her hand in E5. She got all her other hands and all their other initiations. She's well versed in it. I have another friend who's well versed in voodoo. But I my goal is for to challenge people to be open minded, to see, like, what other spiritualists or other people who with other beliefs believe out here. So I can definitely ask her to recommend a book for you, and
Okay.
maybe she could tell you more about Ogun. I can tell you when I studied it and I had first had my reading, I know that Umoja was my head and Ogun was my counterpart, or my, I think he said my foot. I don't remember
Okay.
because I'll record it. It was years ago, many years ago, because I did study it for a while. But I don't have enough wisdom to speak on it. So
Okay.
I can definitely get you the literature that you need. And if it's something that you want to explore, I do know some real legitimate people that practice that can guide and teach, because you got to be careful. There's a lot of scammers out here. Um,
Right.
but I do know a young woman who's very good at teaching. She's very genuine and she's really good. So
Okay.
definitely that, if that's something that you're drawn to.
Well, I was looking for strength, and Ogun presents strength.
Hmm.
Um, he's a warrior, so I
He is.
needed that type of strength to get through my husband leaving me, finding out my mother had stage 4 breast cancer, and realizing that I would have to take on being the caregiver for my mentally challenged and handicapped uncle. So for me, I was going to not quite the ancestors, but looking for strength to get me through what seemed to be an insurmountable task.
Yep, and there you have it. Yeah, there might be something that you should look deeper into, especially if you're drawn to it. So I will find out what book is a good book for you to read. I'll text it in our group text, and Joy will let you know. She'll send it to you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. As we all know, it is our time to go. Thanks everybody for tuning in to our third episode. I am excited for our growth.
Oh
This
wow,
platform
number three already?
number three
Woo,
already. So I'm
okay.
excited for the growth of this platform. It's growing really well. I love it. So until next time.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
three
you,
Bye.
Joy.
spiritual
Thank you,
chicks.
Angel. You're
You're
very
welcome. Thank
welcome.
you, Angel.
All right.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.